Social media through the eyes of a family physician. This is the Family Medicine Rocks podcast. My name is Mike Sevilla. So let's get into this here, kids. This was kind of triggered. My thought on this was triggered by my good friend Dr. Kevin Foe, who is the leading blogger, the leading voice in all of social media, in my opinion, with the Kevin MD blog. Check out his blog at kevinmd.com. And he wrote a post. Now, he wrote an article. He wrote an article for usatoday.com. And this was yesterday, I believe. And the column is entitled this, quote, "What's right for Buffett, not right for every man," unquote. And he starts out by saying this: "There's been an uptick of elderly men in my primary care clinic asking about prostate cancer, perhaps because they heard of Warren Buffett's recent prostate cancer diagnosis. Patients are wondering why they should be screened. Other patients who have already been diagnosed are wondering whether they should receive radiation treatment for their prostate cancer, as Buffett is planning to do. It's very important to remember that what's right for Buffett may not be right for everybody else. The first question is to ask, should an 81-year-old even be screened for prostate cancer? The evidence says no." Let me repeat that. The evidence says no. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, an independent panel of clinicians providing database practice guidelines, recommends against routine prostate cancer screening for healthy men of any age. Studies over the years, which have included participation of more than 300,000 men of various ages, have shown that harm from prostate cancer screening outweighs the benefits. Here's a quote from the chair of the task force, quote, "If there is significant benefit, it should have been apparent by now, and it's not," unquote. There are huge healthcare cost factors as well. While the commission still calls for testing when risk factors are high, their data show that screening leads to widespread overtreatment. So, again this week, in the press, there have been questions about why people are still doing prostate cancer screening in low risk or no risk patients. This made me think back to my post at FamilyMedicineRocks.com a few weeks ago about the Choosing Wisely campaign, in which I agree with, people forget that I agree with this campaign, but I brought up some questions. People don't know about Choosing Wisely. Just go to FamilyMedicineRocks.com and search over there, Choosing Wisely. It is a campaign brought forward by many professional medical organizations, many professional physician organizations who are urging doctors like me, who are pointing the finger at doctors like me, saying, "Mike Sevilla, you are ordering too many tests, and these are the tests that we think are worthless, and do not order them." That's right. And I don't already, but I am still the problem. I am still the problem. And then I read an article like this. About Warren Buffett, I'm glad he's feeling okay. He's going to get the appropriate treatment, but should he have gotten treated in the first place? And it was something I was asking myself, something that I'm asking all the Choosing Wisely organizations out there. Where is the outrage? Where is the outrage directed against Warren Buffett's doctor? Because according to all you people, he shouldn't have ordered the test in the first place. He is part of this waste. He is part of this, blame that is out there, who are ordering these tests that are deemed unnecessary. Where is the anger? Where is the outrage? Where is the statement from the Choosing Wisely organization or the Choosing Wisely, membership organizations, from the physician organizations coming out against this doctor? They're not there. I've looked. They're not there. And that's what gets me upset. these organizations, these choosing wisely people are they're very free to point at, paint a broad, brush and point at everybody and saying, you, especially you, Mike Savella, you are part of the problem. But yet, Warren Buffett's doctor, do we hear anything from them? No, not from these organizations. I've read some other articles this week. There's one from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, cleveland.com. This is a letter to the editor. And this is a letter to the editor from Wednesday, April 25. That will be today. The title is, Who Ordered Warren Buffett's Prostate Cancer Screening Test? This is from an internal medicine physician, Dr. Diana Pai, P.I., from Westlake. It says on the website. I'm not calling her out. I mean, this is it. This is how her letter reads. Since Warren Buffett, the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, argued passionately for my plan to tax the rich, he has become one of my favorite octogenarians. So when I learned that he has been diagnosed with stage 1 prostate cancer, I was concerned, not because he has prostate cancer, but I couldn't fathom who would screen him for prostate cancer or any cancer in the first place. Prostate cancer screening is one of those gray areas in medicine, she writes. Even for younger men, the benefit of screening is marginal. The guideline from the U.S. PSTF, the United States Preventive Service Task Force, states, quote, they recommend against screening prostate cancer in men age 75 years and older. That's right, kids. And goes on to say, if I could find it because I lost it. Most likely, Mr. Buffett will outlive his cancer with or without treatment and will die from cardiovascular disease and other competing causes like the rest of us. But the odds are he will suffer from the same side effects from his impending radiation treatment. They name some of the side effects of the treatment. No, not all screening is helpful. There are things in life left better unknown, or better left unknown. I should stop multitasking as I'm reading these letters. So there's somebody who is upset. How about that? This is from the New York Times, April 24, Tara Parker Pope. The title is, Older Men Still Being Screened for Prostate Cancer. Many men 75 years or older who are more likely to be harmed than helped continue to be screened or tested for the disease, despite federal guidelines strongly advising against the practice. The debate about screening older men for prostate cancer was reignited last week after reports that billionaire investor Warren Buffett, who is 81, said he received the diagnosis of early-stage prostate cancer after routine blood test, known as the PSA. Dr. Otis Webb Brawley, chief medical officer for the American Cancer Society, said that many doctors continue to test anyway because they don't want to have a conversation with their patients about life expectancy. Quote, if you decide to do a PSA, then you've got to have the conversation you really don't want to have with the patient, Dr. Brawley said. For doctors to do that, it's emotionally challenging. Talking to someone else about their mortality is really uncomfortable for doctors. They don't call out the doctor of Warren Buffett here. Here's another article from doctorslounge.com, April 24, 2012. Title is, USPSTF guidelines haven't changed PSA screening practice. Despite the 2008 changes of the USPSTF recommendations against PSA screening in men 75 years or older, screening rates remain unchanged for men of all ages between 2005 and 2010, according to research letters published in the April 25 issue of the Journal of the American Medical Association. The researchers found that PSA screening rates were unchanged over time in all age groups, PSA screening was unchanged between 2005 and 2010 in men 75 years and older. PSA screening was more common in men 75 years and older than in men age 40 to 49 or 50 to 59. But men age 60 to 74 years had the highest screening rate, 51.2% in this study. The author said this, quote, the discrepancy between USPF recommendation and subsequent practice patterns may reflect lack of guideline awareness, financial incentives, or patient-physician confidence in PSA screening, the authors conclude. So this whole Buffett rule, the Buffett rule of prostate cancer screening, the Buffett rule is to get it done. And, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the outrage to happen, which is probably not going to happen. Kevin Poe, in his article, said that this was a tremendous, I'm inferring here, he said this is a tremendous opportunity and teaching point for the country. My interpretation. He's saying that a tremendous teaching opportunity was missed because this prostate cancer screening was done. And I would like to interject that this was a tremendous missed opportunity by the Caring Wisely people. Maybe I missed it. If I missed a statement from them, please send it to me. I will correct it. But I have not seen any kind of statement from them. And when I wrote my post about, I really don't think that people are going to follow the Caring Wisely guidelines, all kinds of hate mail. All kinds of negative comments, which I can handle, because I knew that it would, I knew what I wrote was not going to be very popular with people. But I take this illustration of this PSA screening. These recommendations have been out for 4 years. 4 years. 2008 recommendations to stop PSA screening. They still happen. These Caring Wisely guidelines that were announced. I think it's a good thing. Let me emphasize again. I agree with the Caring Wisely campaign. Do I think it is going to change physician behavior? No, I don't. And I direct all those people who sent me hate mail, all those people who gave me negative comments, all those people who came after me, I encourage you to write a blog post or, make a video or go on a podcast and call out the doctor of Warren Buffett and said, why did this guy do this? This guy is part of the problem. Is it going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. I can pretty much guarantee that it's not going to happen. But those people out there continue to blame me for the problem. And I don't even order this stuff. I don't order most of this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't order any of this stuff, but I do order some of it. But if you're going to make me part of the problem, then call out the other people doing it. I challenge you to do that. Those people are not going to do it. They're chicken to do it. They're not going to do it. But they'll blame me for it. And that's kind of my outrage. Where is the outrage? Where is, people being upset with this doctor who ordered this PSA test? It's not going to be there. Why? Because Warren Buffett has prostate cancer, stage 1. And they're not going to do it. It would be bad form. It would be, not politically correct to do it. And it's sad. It's sad that, people can universally blame doctors. But when a specific case like this comes up, you can hear a pin drop, and it's not really going to happen. So I just had to get that off my chest. I feel a lot better now. Send all hate mail at FamilyMedicineRocks.com. I welcome your feedback. I welcome those people who are going to yell at me after this monologue. But hey, I call it as I see it. And, that's what I think. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. You know, I welcome your feedback on that. Let me take one more break, and then we will close up the show here. You're listening to the Family Medicine Rocks podcast. My name is Mike Sevilla. I go to FamilyMedicineRocks.com, and we'll be right back.